James here from the Gator Nation Football Podcast. Once again, a happy Thanksgiving week to you and your families. In this edition of the Film Breakdown, we're going to get you ready for Kentucky. We'll take a look at their film versus Alabama, which will accomplish two things. It gives us a chance to look at Alabama, since Florida will in all likelihood be playing them in the SEC championship game. And it also gives you a great look at this Saturday's upcoming matchup. As always, if you like the content, like this video, subscribe to our channel. Drop us a dono on Patreon. Follow us on social media. Yes, we still seem to be in Twitter jail. Hopefully they will let us out soon. And check out the podcast each and every Monday where we bring you in-depth analysis on the Florida Gators. Without further ado, let's jump right into the film. Let's start the video by looking at Kentucky's offense. And this is going to be instructive because it will also show us how Alabama plays defense. Now, rather than break down each play in detail like I typically do, I'm going to go in more of a rapid-fire succession to show you how this game plan against Kentucky unfolded, what Kentucky did well, and how Alabama continually adjusted, to show you kind of the cat and mouse game, the game theory of football, and also to show you what a good defense is doing over the course of a game to take away what the opponent wants to do, which seems to be the precise opposite of what Florida often has done, especially this season amongst some others as well. So this should serve both as opponent prep for Kentucky as well as future prep for Bama, along with some quality defensive principles here, and also showing you that Kentucky was able to move the ball on Alabama quite successfully for a large portion of this game. They did, of course, struggle in the red zone, which is what will happen if you struggle to throw the ball as an offense. So for the very opening play of the game, Alabama is going to show that they are not afraid of Kentucky's pass game. One safety, single high. We've slid up the strong safety into the box, and Alabama is in fact expecting run. Unfortunately for them, we're going to get a bad gap control issue here. So look here, we don't need all three of our linebackers playing the same gap. He had to be right here filling this gap. This play goes nowhere. Instead, too far inside, and that winds up being a big gain for Kentucky. So you can have the exact right play. You can coach this up all week, in the case of Bama, for weeks preparing for Kentucky. And then at the end of the day, if you don't get the proper execution, even if you've taught this right, you need to have the right execution here. Do your job, fill this gap. A play that you should have stuff for nothing goes for a first down. So keep that in mind. These are college kids, they're not pros. Even the best coaches are going to have issues with execution. That's okay, that's fine. If you're looking on film, you're saying right scheme, wrong execution. Kentucky's going to come out in a double stack formation, one on each side. You can't see the one up here, but it's exactly the same. Alabama's going to counter how I like to counter this, by playing physical and aggressive on the line to mess up any combination routes that these guys are going to try to run. Kentucky is doing this to spread the field. This will allow them to potentially have positive numbers in the box. Here we have 5, plus we can have a blocker for 6. Alabama, of course, being Alabama, unafraid, is going to make sure they're even numbers. They're not going to play two safeties. They're going to be sure that they're even numbers. And they're going to play, and you can't see this, but they're going to play an additional man high over here. And on the other side, they're going to wind up doing the same thing, with an extra defender on this side, because that is where Kentucky's best receivers lined up. So very sound from the start. This, by the way, is actually a really good flag football formation. In fact, you can do a lot of stuff starting this guy back here, but that'd be a topic for a different day. For now, what matters here is Alabama's ready for this. Kentucky likes this formation. They will use this on Saturday. They use it several times against Alabama. We're going to see it in this film study. There's going to be a zone read. Crucial element here is he is going to be your unblocked man. He needs to make sure he's responsible for the quarterback coming out. These linebackers need to be filling their gaps accordingly to make sure they can take the running back, because they don't have a ton of help on the outside. And Bama handles this play rather easily. Kentucky will build off this play later in the film study. Nick Saban likes to start in 2 high looks and then have a safety come down, whether it's the strong side or the weak side. He calls this the right side or the left side, so rip or Liz for right or left. And what will happen pre-snap is with any motion that we get, so we get a slot receiver motion, rather than have your nickel chase across the field, we're going to have the safety rotate down. This is also my preferred way to handle a team that doesn't throw very well, is motion plays, especially if you're not too concerned with accuracy. This gives you a lot of strength in the box, and you're going to watch how Bama handles this. They pass it off. Now, because of that, we're only going to have one high safety, which you can't see on your screen, but he's up there, and we're playing strong against the run. Now, Kentucky is very, very creative against the run, as we mentioned. You're going to see all sorts of motions where they actually do hand this ball off. They have all sorts of options to run here, which is what they're presenting Alabama with. Bama's going to stay home on this play, fill the gaps nicely, and Kentucky's going to pick up just a couple. Again, all of this happens largely because Alabama is going to maintain as many players as they can in the box. They're going to try to deny Kentucky doing what they want to do most. This is going to be a very nice play by Kentucky. A lot of good pre-snap action that's going to cause conflict for the defense. First, we're going to get a wide receiver motion to set here into a two-back set. That's going to have Alabama counter by bringing their strong safety in the box here. Alabama, again, going to give preference to the run. Kentucky is then going to run a wheel route out here, in which case he is actually going to be wide open for a touchdown. And they're also going to have their tight end, which is going to run a go route right up the field open as well. He chooses to take the simpler route, but this one really was the home run route. But watch how this play unfolds. They're coming in strong for the run. Now, from all I can tell, he did his job. They have him keyed here on the receiver who's come across the formation. And you would see that because the previous play we showed you what happened when they motioned a receiver over. The strong safety comes down to take it. So he is doing his job. The safety who was here is rotating over to take any of a free releaser in the middle, which is, of course, this tight end. He's just not going to get there in time because Kentucky has the right play on. And then right here, Alabama's in trouble. They're beat right there. And you can't see the corner, but he's off the screen, not playing. He can't help. This is the better matchup with the time that Terry Wilson has. He had to look and see if he's got his home run. Instead, he's taking what he has, which is fine. But again, you have a home run here. Look at this. You have a home run here at the bottom of the screen. He's not looking. He has no idea where this ball is. He's just thinking, I'm in trouble. The safety's here. He can't help me. I am absolutely dead. But thankfully for Alabama's sake, he's going to go to the tight end instead and take a nice gain. But it's a good play. Look for Kentucky to use similar concepts there. Again, as we're progressing through this film, you're seeing how Kentucky's using how Alabama is defending against them to try to generate big plays. So even though Kentucky's offense has struggled so hard all year long, it doesn't mean the scheme they have is not potentially good and or valuable, because as we can see already in this film, they have caught Alabama multiple times. They've just been unable to capitalize, as the score is obviously 7-0, but they have driven the ball, and this is their second drive. This is another really good play design from Kentucky. You'll notice if you've watched my previous breakdowns, this is how I prefer to handle bunch sets, especially against a team that cannot pass very well. We're going to get really physical right here. That way, if they want to run a screen, we're already pushing this into the backfield, messing up spacing, messing up timing. This is how I like to play it. They have two defenders that are going to be off of this here. I like this for good reason. I think it's the strongest position in general as your meta strategy against 3x1s. Kentucky's going to counter with a really nice play here in the box. That's where we're going to focus. They're going to run this ball. This is going to be, again, a really nice play. Let's give some eye candy. We're going to bring our tight end, who's sitting really here as an H-back, and we're going to pull him over here to block our unblocked man. This is, of course, a zone read, so we can choose to keep this. If he comes flying in, we can keep this here if we're Terry. But what we're really doing, we're really creating some eye candy to pull our linebackers this way and this way, because in all reality, we want to go right here. And watch how this works. You'll see that motion. Their eyes are here. They see the blocker pulling, and they're thinking, well, maybe he wants to come into this gap, which of course he can. He can choose to go there. He's going to fill this, but what we've really done is we've moved the Mike linebacker out of position. Now he can't get to this gap, and that's what's going to have happened here. Safety's going to come down. Quick recognition. He's playing pass and run. He's playing pass first, run second, so he'll come down and fill to make this tackle. He misses. Either way, nice play from Kentucky. So a lot of stuff going on there. They do fake this screen at the top of your screen. Take a look at what happens here. They fake the screen, and look what's already going on. You can imagine if they throw this screen, how much better position we are in with our free defenders, given that we're going to be aggressive and engage here. But a lot of things going on just to run the ball. Kentucky, one of the better teams in the country with their creative run design. Kentucky is going to catch Alabama here with a really nice pre-snap set of motions. Before the snap, there's a third receiver on this side of the field that you can't see, but he's there. We're going to motion over the slot again like we've seen. Now this time you can tell that Alabama has one safety on this side, and the other one, which you can't see, is high on this side. You notice there's no rotation down here, and what's going to happen is Kentucky's going to give themselves plus numbers to the weak side of the field. So the boundary corner is going to come in and provide pressure because his responsibility is not this tight end. That's going to be the safeties. So he's a free defender. He's going to choose to apply perimeter pressure, stop a perimeter run, apply pressure on the quarterback in the case that he wants to drop back and throw. And then you're also going to have pulling. Look at this action here. We have 2 pulls to hold the backside or the weak side linebacker and potentially give some eye candy to the Mike linebacker in case, again, Terry Wilson wants to keep this. So you have a running back who's going to come out here and be your lead blocker, although he started right next to Terry Wilson. Let's rewind that. There he is. Sorry, on this side. He's going to come out and block, although he was an option pre-snap to get the ball. And now we're actually going to toss this ball to our motion slot, who's been coming across all game, has not gotten one, and now we create for ourselves some nice deception. He guesses incorrectly. He's with Terry. He misses his assignment. Now we have a very positive situation. We're plus a blocker. We're locked up here. We're locked up here. And if we can get out to here, we've got ourselves a nice play. It's exactly what happens. He dives down to the outside because he presumably has help to the middle, which is true. But again, in this scenario, things have gone bad for Alabama. He would have done better to be more patient. He's not. Now we've got a great play going. And in fact, if Kentucky's running back does what he should do, which is forget about this guy and look up the field, this is going to be a touchdown. He doesn't, so he leaves number 6 out on his own in a foot race, and that winds up being a huge gain, but not a touchdown, which it should have been. But this is an excellent play. So again, Bama's pre-snap alignment here gets them into trouble because they should be shifting over with this motion guy. They are undermanned here. This should be a slide over. He should be sliding here. Then we're fine. Everything's okay. We're good to go. This will be our read defender on the edge. Everything will be okay. Unfortunately for us, that doesn't happen. And us in this case, Alabama. Us in this case being Florida on Saturday. Certainly, Florida is not Alabama, nor do we want to be. But out of that deference, us being defense on Saturday, look for similar shifts to occur. Again, all of this has been building throughout each play we look at, as we're seeing how Kentucky is using all of these backfield motions to create holes, gaps, separation. They're looking at what Alabama is doing, what formations they're rotating out of. And this play started from an entirely different formation. You couldn't see it, but this running back was set out here as a receiver. And then he motioned into here. So we totally changed our shift. We also had a guy here who motioned out to here. So one look pre-snap, another look pre-snap, and then the ball's actually snapped. So really creative design here by Kentucky, and all Kentucky has to do for Terry Wilson is just catch the ball and hand it off right here, right? So complicated football pre-snap leads to simple football post-snap, and if better execution was there, this would have been a touchdown. Kentucky will run the Wildcat. Great, because they are the Wildcats. So we'll see Terry Wilson shift out here, and we will see what I wish all teams to do against the Wildcat. It blows my mind that you'll watch plenty of college football teams, including teams against Florida, not do this when you have obvious running situations. Make this guy pass. He doesn't want to pass. So what does Alabama do? They bring their only free safety down into the box. So there is no safety. They're playing man-to-man all the way across the board, and they're going to make sure the box is stacked because the most likely play is, of course, a run, and they'll take their chances with him throwing against man, and that is, in fact, what they do. This is the proper way to stop Wildcat. Florida will probably see a snap or two like this on Saturday. We'll see how Florida chooses to handle it. 2nd and 12, Alabama is going to play man and blitz. They're going to blitz their linebacker. Could be a nickel. In this case, it is a linebacker, but it could be either position doing the same thing here. And Kentucky is going to counter with a pre-snap motion. Again, they don't know that Alabama is in man right now. In this case, they would. They would definitely know now. So here comes our linebacker. He's going to run all the way out here with this. And then what you're going to have happen is this safety. This safety is going to come down and cover your slot. Now, what I want you to focus on is how this safety plays off-man technique. We've covered it pretty much ad nauseum for the Florida defense. And watch how he covers this. He's not backing up. Again, notice he's not backing up. He doesn't take any steps back. He has a nice cushion here. He's not already back here. He's not clearing out. He wants to see if he can stop the quick game. Is this guy going to run a route within 3 yards? If he does, I'm going to come down on it. And here he is. Look, the ball is not thrown yet, and he is coming downhill. This slant now becomes a dangerous pass. He's just going to complete this. Okay, that's how you make 2nd and 12 difficult. Now, they're going to gain 4 yards here, but look at the timing of that. He's coming down on that, right? This is proper technique. That's how you should defend against this. Also down here, let's take a look at how they defend against the bunch. This winds up becoming a 3-by-1. It's going to become a 3-by-1. They're playing man, but look at the technique here. What do we see? Crossbody jam. Crossbody jam into the body here, resetting momentum, staying on top of this route. Again, excellent fundamentals across the board from Alabama. This slant route now becomes dangerous. Terry Wilson not going to be as comfortable throwing it in the future. And Alabama showing that they know Terry Wilson likes to throw it to the interior part of the field. Let's take away these easier throws. Let's make them difficult. That's good off-man technique by Alabama. It's 3rd and 8 for Kentucky. Bama could be playing soft, choosing to play zone. Instead, they're going to do, again, my absolute preferred method of defense here against a quarterback who struggles to throw. Let's play man and make them make a tight throw. Now, let's stop and look at their pre-snap alignment. We're totally okay here. We're going to all be assigned, and we are going to send a gap pressure. Pressure up the middle. This is what we want. We're going to make sure our defensive ends hold the edge so that Terry Wilson cannot escape. Of course, he is a runner. So we're sending our pressure up the middle. We're also sending our corner around the outside. We are bringing max pressure, which is very nice from there. We have an extra defender on this side who's going to take the first receiver that leaves. The first receiver that leaves would be his. He's not on that. Let's rewind this one more time so we can show you how this looks down here. Down here, we're locking up, and we're going to force the receiver to the outside. Why? Because we're going to make sure, since we have no help, our safety's only in the middle, the boundary can help us. Good technique here, good contact on the route. And then in here, and this is the most important part, especially because Florida struggles with it, notice that we're starting with outside alignment, outside shade. We want to make sure this route comes to the middle. And if this route happens to come outside because we have a lead on this, because we're starting further outside than the receiver, we should be able to cover this route really well. Keep your eyes on that part of the screen. You're going to lose it for a second. He's going to run that corner. And although our technique's not perfect on our turn, there's not a very big window for this ball to be thrown in. Again, this is excellent coverage, and the turn was not even perfect by their nickel. But this ball's nowhere close. And that's the key. This ball is nowhere close. And you can see they only run a 2-man route. This is good scouting by Alabama. The reason Bama is so comfortable bringing pressure is they know Terry Wilson does not read the field well. They want to bring max heat, and they do not want to allow him to walk around back there for a long time when they're only sending 2 guys out. It's only 2 people going out in this formation. So good work by Alabama. Way to be aggressive. Way to force a quarterback to make a really tight window throw and live with the results. So you can't see this, but Kentucky did not start in this formation. We're back in again against the stack set on both sides. They did not start in this formation, so there was a pre-snap shift. This is done just to confuse the defense. Potentially they may blow their transition. You'll get an easy throw. Alabama going to counter again here, aggressive on the front man, which I like. And they're going to have the safety shaded towards the more dangerous side, where the receivers that Kentucky like the most are. Also, very sound football, way to take away what they want to do the most. And we have 6 in the box versus Kentucky's 6 potential blockers in the box. Now, Kentucky's +1 here with Terry Wilson, because Alabama is choosing to play this safer at this point in the game by keeping a safety back there. They could choose to bring this safety in the box. We could play straight man. In this formation, they'd rather play it safe. Kentucky, having run this before, saw something they liked on the weak side, and you're going to see it here. Now, all of this is going to go wrong when we here lose our gap control. So again, good execution, good scheme by Bama. This play should be just fine. They are down 1 man, but they're going to have help from the safety. The safety who's here is going to look, and then obviously after he takes a step, he'll look too. But the problem's going to go here. And why? Because he is going to blow through his responsibility to hold the edge. Again, he's the read defender. He's the unblocked man. He should know that. He should wait. He has to wait to see what happens with this exchange. He does not. Coming into your screen here, you're going to see the safety coming to fill this gap in case the running back got the ball. He doesn't. So now we're in trouble, because now on the weak side, we have 2v2. This could be a big play for Kentucky. So we're off to the races. This is good recognition very quickly here by Alabama. He's not going to get there in time, but he is going to make Terry Wilson slow down. If he stays locked in too long on the screen pass, Terry Wilson's going to have more speed and momentum going. He doesn't. He winds up making the tackle. But nice play by Kentucky, something built from an earlier play in the game. They took advantage of how Bama was lining up, how they were shading their safety over top their better receiver side. And they took a gamble that Alabama would blow their gap control, which they did, and that led to a nice play. So later in the first quarter now, we're still moving the ball with Kentucky. We're going to give the same action we've been giving Alabama and see how they choose to react this time. Again, this is to the boundary or the weak side of the field. So we don't have a safety that's going to rotate down here. We don't have a receiver over here, so that's going to change Bama's rotation. We're going to do this. We hit him with this play last time. Let's see what happens. They're ready for it now. We have our corner who's going to be outside gap control. So again, this is covered. This play's covered. But Kentucky still has 3 options. We have a running back. We have Terry Wilson going either way. But Bama's going to be okay if they mind their gaps. What we do is we're going to give a chance for our weak side linebacker, in this case our strong side linebacker rather, to make a mistake. Right? And this isn't even a horrible mistake, but what is he doing? He's not doing his job. His responsibility is not the motion man, not his responsibility. His responsibility is going to be these gaps over here, right? He's got to be on the strong side on these gaps. He overshifts. Now he's in the middle of the field. Now we're in trouble. Here we're fine. Our weak side linebacker's fine. He can hit either one of these gaps. He's great. But we don't have anyone over here, and this kicks out. We don't have it because we're stuck, right? We're stuck underneath, which is what happens. Now Kentucky turns it outside. Here comes our safety. Again, Alabama playing very aggressive against the run. Their safeties are still there quickly. But this is going to turn into a big play with a missed tackle there, another missed tackle there, and a nice gain. So one more time, all of this is built on all the previous plays Kentucky has run, so it shows you their offense has good progression, good understanding of what's happening, and we are giving this linebacker here a chance to make a mistake by following his pre-snap responsibility, which is now no longer his responsibility, follows it too long, gets himself stuck in the wash, and Kentucky also wins here at the point of attack because they're 3-on-2. Well-designed play, good execution. For football to work and for good defense to happen, you have to have all 11 guys on the same page. One guy does the wrong thing. It doesn't matter how good the scheme is. You are still going to get the ball moved on you. So again, you can't see another pre-snap motion that Kentucky utilizes, but they move their tight end across the formation here, which causes the linebackers to switch positions. Alabama on the bottom of the screen is going to play cover 2. They're going to have their corner funnel this to their safety here. And on the top of the screen, they're going to wind up also doing a similar combo coverage up top. And we'll watch how this unfolds. Pre-snap, they're going to bail. This is going to wind up being a cover 4, or essentially a cover 6. 2 on the bottom, 4 up top is cover 6. So in the cover 6 zone, let's watch how Bama chooses to play this. Notice, 1, they're going to play it aggressively. Although he's bailing, he's not already off this screen. Right? He's going to run with a deep route, but he can also play a short route if he deems it so. And then we're going to funnel everything to the middle. This is going to be our zone linebacker. He's going to take here. We have a safety here that's going to take any route that comes deep over the top. And he's going to make sure no routes go outside because he doesn't have any help to the flat. Again, with this corner bailing, he has no flat help. So if an out route is run and he's on this side, he can't stop that. That's a big play. He has to make sure this gets funneled to his safety here. Because again, in a cover 6, we're going to split the field in 1/2, 1/4, and then 1/4 here too. 1/2, 1/4, 1/4, right? So everyone on Bama is doing their job. Terry Wilson wants to do only one thing, which most quarterbacks in college football want to do, and that's throw a slant route. Now Alabama is countering this by bringing the safety on the slant route, so everyone here did their job. This is a well-timed throw into the gap. Notice he's reading Terry Wilson. He's flowing into his zone. He's coming down into his zone. This is a nice play, nice timing on 2nd and 9. And that's going to be a first down by Kentucky. Keep note of this. We've seen Bama play aggressively on the slant before. Keep note of this play for later. It's now the very next play. Something I love here as well. Kentucky likes to run the football. So if Florida lines up like this, teams have reason to believe we're going to throw deep. It's much more challenging. Kentucky lines up like this, and Alabama says, we're not going to fear this. We're going to bring 10 guys in the box and leave 1 free safety because we think you're going to run. And quite frankly, we want you to pass because we don't trust that. But if you're going to run, we're not going to make it easy for you. We're going to bring everyone but our free safety in the box. Again, look at this. Bama is ready for this. Here we go. His responsibility is the quarterback. His responsibility is to flow to the outside. Let's get engaged. Let's make a play, right? So this is key. This play for Kentucky can be a great play. If we're going to back off, we're going to play safe. If we're going to do what Florida does a lot and play too high and then keep a corner here and a corner here, this is going to be 5-6 yards. But Bama says, no. We're going to put 10 guys in the box, and we're going to play aggressive against the run because we don't think you can pass. And we think this bunch set is really just window dressing to try to run the ball. Bama correct in this case. They wind up getting a very easy stop for short yards. Bama has become increasingly aggressive against Kentucky at this point in the game. So Kentucky's going to give them a 3-by-1 set. This time Alabama is not going to counter this set. Up tight in here. Again, there's reasons why they're not. One, this receiver is now off the line of scrimmage. They can still run this set, but it's also 2nd and 13. So they're trusting their defenders to win this 3-on-3 with a 4th defender coming in here to maybe allow a 3rd and 7 or 3rd and 6. So they're not trying to just deny a gain here. They're playing the situation. Kentucky, though, recognizes they could have a shot here. This is the other safety who's down in the box. Alabama is choosing to have their linebackers shifted to the strong side, and they're only going to play 3 on the weak side. So we are 3-on-3 here on the weak side, 3-on-3 on the weak side, but this safety is now in a spot where he cannot help deep. Kentucky is going to counter with an excellent play. They're going to send here into the screen, which is going to pull this safety down because Bama is choosing to play man on this particular play, with the only free defender being here. He's going to read the play, see that it's not a run, and he's bailing to the deep middle. So he's going to bail to the deep middle, and up top, we should be playing corner to force this route to the outside. Again, although we have a safety in the middle of the field, you know pre-snap if you're playing corner here that your safety cannot help you on almost any route that is going to be run against you. You need to win the battle here. He's going to lose the battle quite badly on a really nice move by Kentucky's receiver. You can't see that move, unfortunately. He is open. There's a ton of space to throw this football. But again, why would you do this if you're Bama? You're comfortable knowing that Terry Wilson is not an accurate passer. This is a bad pass. It's going to wind up being a 1st down for Kentucky because we are going to get pass interference on the dropper, as we said. Now, good work by Bama. They still get their safety here. Again, on a bad pass, they still get their safety there, which is one reason why they're comfortable doing it. But a better throw is an easy touchdown. Although you can't see it, he has great separation here early on. He slows up by the time the camera shows him. It looks like he's much more covered. He was not. Excellent move, good play. It also shows you Kentucky is aware of the fact of what defenses are doing to them. They're calling up the proper plays in a lot of situations. They're just unable to execute them. Kentucky has 2x2, 2 down here, 2 up here, although you can't see them off your screen. They're going to motion the tight end across the formation. This, again, is going to give the linebackers a chance to mess up their assignment. They're going to catch Alabama in the perfect play call here. Bama is going to send a blitz from their safety. This is the ideal play call by Kentucky, everything they want. It's a little bit fortunate here by them, but regardless, I'm showing it to you because Kentucky will use every single player in the back part of the field. In the podcast, we told you that 1/3 of their passes are thrown behind the line of scrimmage or right at it. And they do that because they're very creative. And again, you've seen a million different pre-snap shifts and formations here to indicate that. This is going to keep things very easy for Terry Wilson. Alabama messes this play up because they don't shift enough with their linebackers. Again, you know you've got a safety blitzing here. You got to shift with this motion more to make sure you're set correctly. They don't. We get no shift here. That's what's going to ruin this play for them. He's stuck in no man's land. He can't get there in time. And as opposed to making a tackle, we've got a big gain. Kentucky obviously has a lot of creativity in the run game. They're going to display it here again against Alabama. Of course, you're only going to see a little bit of this play pre-snap because the camera angle is moving on us, but we have a receiver here who's going to come across in motion, as we've seen quite a bit today. But the real magic of this play is you can already see that both linemen are actually pulling across the field. This is purely for deception. This ball is going to get pitched right here to the wide receiver coming across, and this running back is going to block. So what Kentucky has essentially done here on the weak side is they've taken the center and they've had him come across the formation here to block the defensive tackle, which is going to put 1, 2, 3, and 4 blockers versus these 4 here, with the safety who's in close here, the strong safety in close, going to be the only one that can make a stop on this play. But again, very creative play. By essentially pulling both of these linemen, you're going to get the eyes of these linebackers, and that is going to give you a chance to have a big play on yet another simple execution. There's the toss. Now we see we've accomplished our mission here. We have indeed made it. There it is, 4-on-4 with the extra defender. This is what Kentucky wants. They're trying to pick up 4 to 5 yards here. Nice blocking, and they are in fact going to get that. Again, very safe play, very creative, a lot of backfield eye candy, difficult to stay disciplined with, and that is how Kentucky moves the ball. This is why they're consistent running the ball, and they were last year, even though teams knew they were running the ball almost every play. You can be effective if you have a well-designed play that's able to move 1 or 2 players out of the way of where your play is actually going. Kentucky does not always have to rely on deception to run the ball well. Here, Alabama has 10 players in the box. Again, they're playing Kentucky correctly. There's a receiver up here that you can't see on top of your screen. They're manned up there, and there is no safety. So they're absolutely playing everyone in the box. And despite this, Kentucky is still going to be able to run the ball right up the middle for a solid gain and a first down. Again, right up the middle. Nothing special here. Just straight power football. And despite the fact that Alabama gets a lot of pressure here, a lot of push, look how far in the backfield they are, Kentucky's still able to gain positive yards here. So even if you get everything right in the scheme, Kentucky is still good enough to run the football on you. It's now 1st and goal. Alabama, again, not going to play a safety. They're going to load the box here to match Kentucky, and they're going to play 3-on-3 in the pass game. This is good. This is how you should play Kentucky, especially in the red zone. Force them to throw the ball into tight windows. Alabama is not going to let Kentucky run the ball in, at least based upon a scheme. They're going to have to earn it. Number on number. Bama easily able to stop this play by Kentucky. It also shows you what Kentucky wants to do, right? This is not favorable to run the ball, yet they're going to do it anyway. Tells you a lot about their team. This is definitely where you want to go. If you get 3-on-3 in a stack formation, in a 3 formation like this, where you can do a lot of dangerous things with 3 receivers, a lot of combinations you can run, a lot of ways to use each of their routes, whether Bama's playing man or zone, to conflict what's happening, a lot of room in the field to do a lot of stuff in the passing game. Yet again, Kentucky's going to wind up keeping this very vanilla because they want to run the ball. So good job by Bama staying disciplined here. Florida should do the same on Saturday. Force Kentucky to throw the football in situations like these. 2nd and goal. You can barely see at the bottom of your screen that Kentucky does have a receiver there. Again, Alabama going to make sure everyone's in the box, and we're going to lock up on the outside. We are still playing man-to-man defense, and we are not going to let Kentucky run the ball in, make them throw the ball in on you. Kentucky's going to take a shot here at this little play action, which doesn't matter because they're playing man. Take their one-on-one shot with a rollout. Bama does well to make sure they hold the edge, not to let Terry Wilson run. This is just, again, a one-receiver option. So we've seen this with Franks and other quarterbacks. If your quarterback is not good at reading the field, if he's not truly a quarterback, give them very simple throws, right? Take your shot here. It's a safe throw. It's one-on-one. They don't complete it. Nice coverage by Alabama. Again, Alabama forcing Kentucky to pass the ball into the end zone in these situations. 3rd and goal for Kentucky. This is going to be excellent defense by Alabama. We've talked a lot about Florida covering slants. And in fact, I've gotten a lot of questions from people on what are ways you can cover slants. Well, you're going to see not only this play, but others with how Bama chooses to do that. So again, in the box, Bama is going to counter Kentucky, who has 4 wides. They're in 2x2 set. This is Kentucky's best receiver, number 6, Josh Ali. We've seen him primarily being the motion man here, among other things. Again, he is targeted more than 2 times as much as anyone else on Kentucky. Florida would do well to cover Josh Ali just like Alabama does. And you can see what Alabama does down here is we're 2x2 at the bottom of the screen. We have a linebacker here who's going to be able to get into any in-breaking route if it's not a handoff, but primarily Alabama wants to make sure they can stop them running the ball. So we don't see another safety sitting over here. We're not going to double up. We're not going to 3-on-2 both sides of the pass. Instead, if we know this team loves to throw the ball here, we're going to have the extra defender stopping this here. Not to mention, take a look at the pre-snap alignment. We're going to make sure that he cannot run to the middle of the field. Why? Because we do not have a safety going to the middle of the field. We're going to funnel this route somewhere outside. We're going to take a strong inside technique, inside leverage here to make sure that nothing comes across the field this way. That's going to allow these to keep this 3-on-2, these 3 defenders 3-on-2 in this part of the field. That's their goal. That's going to free up all of these defenders to play the run, along with this defender getting to play both. Again, if this is going to be a rollout this way, he'll be able to peel off and drop in this side of the field and help out on any kind of crossers that come from here or from here in the event that happens. So what's happening here, to rehash, Alabama is telling Kentucky, do not throw the ball over here. You have to go somewhere else, and that is, of course, wise. Keep the ball away from their best player. As the ball gets snapped, we can see what happens. Again, take a look at this coverage here. This is how you maintain inside leverage, right? If he face cuts him, he's going to run right into him. which is perfect. And then Kentucky is in fact going to try to run the ball. Why? Because they like to run the ball. But again, if you've noticed this here, we've kept our numbers, right? Kentucky with 5 here plus 1, and then 2 as additional runners. Of course, you could send him into block, which would then give 6. Alabama with 4 and 6. Hat on hat football. That's what you want to see. Kentucky then is going to go for that strategy. Alabama's linebacker is going to do a good job to hold his gap. He's going to hold his gap. There it is. This D tackle wins right here. So we win our one-on-one matchups, close that window, and ultimately that block is not going to get it done. Defensive tackle is going to take care of Terry Wilson. So again, Terry sees this linebacker's in the gap here, doesn't like that. He chooses to try to go through this gap where this linebacker is here as well, and he runs into the D tackle. All in all, this occurs because Kentucky doesn't want to throw the football at this part of the field. They take away the receiver he likes the most, their most dynamic playmaker, and they force them to live with this. That is what good, sound schematic defense looks like. And again, for Kentucky, and this is obviously not a scouting Alabama report, this is a scouting Kentucky report, Kentucky clearly wants to run the ball into the end zone. Make them throw. As the game is progressing, we're now moving through the second quarter as Kentucky's next possession. Kentucky again going to move their best receiver, Josh Eli, off the line. He's going to run quite deep back here to see what Alabama's going to do. Alabama is going to counter by bringing their strong safety down. So we've had a pass off here. Again, we pass this off. He passes this off to the safety. Safety comes down. We move into a cover 1. The other safety is up there, and you cannot see him. This is a very good action. Why? This keeps the numbers again for Bama extremely sound in here. Numbers are good. If we choose to keep this safety up high and move him across, that's going to be a weak side disadvantage for the defense. Alabama does not want to do that, so they employ this instead, move to 1 high, and they have all the numbers they need to stop this run. It's now 3rd and 6. Alabama, again, completely disrespecting Kentucky's pass game. Notice this tight bunch formation. So we've got a stack of 3 here. Alabama going to counter again with what I like the most. Let's pressure the top of this stack. Let's make sure that we mess up any route combinations they may want to run. And then Alabama playing very aggressive with their free safety here, very close to the line of scrimmage in case Kentucky wants to attempt to run. And we're locked up man here. So pre-snap, they're showing cover 1. Again, it could be zone, could be man. They could be zoning on this side, manning on this side. Not really important to what Kentucky's going to run. Kentucky, of course, is a capable SEC team. They can do more than just run. And this is going to be the classic mesh route, which we've shown you before this season. Mesh route, the staple of the air raid, staple of Mike Leach. If you're in man, you're hoping to get a rub. In fact, a lot of high schoolers will teach putting your hand out to go for a high 5 to make sure your distance is appropriate. Take a look right there. You'll see it. You'll see their tight end is making sure his distance is close enough here so that this rubs off this defender, freeing his man. Since we're in man, Terry Wilson, of course, is looking right at the mesh point as he should. Ball comes out. Coverage gets through this pretty well here. Take a look. The mesh does not work. Our relationship is just a little bit off to where Bama actually gets through it. But just because he sees it coming, he anticipates the contact. He actually gets a little bit too close. The receiver falls down, despite being in excellent position here to cover this. Again, he loses the top of the route. If he's not here, he's on top of this route, and this never happened. So despite you looking at this and thinking he doesn't really get a clean pick here, doesn't need to. He loses his balance, falls underneath the route. Nice catch is made, and because they're in man, this turns into a big play. So the mesh play is really powerful against man for that reason. Of course, if you are Florida on Saturday, it's perfectly okay to give up first downs like this. These are the kind of first downs you want to give up where you're right there on the receiver. Sometimes it's obviously worth playing man. Wilson makes a nice throw, but you will take your chances giving Kentucky first downs like this in the game. Despite the first down they've given up, Alabama now 2nd and 10 is going to stay aggressive against the run. We're still going to stay in cover 1. So 1 high. We're going to get a motion here to a 2-back set, which is dangerous for the defense, especially if they play passively. Alabama is not going to play passively. Take a look here. Here comes the strong safety. We've now basically put 8 guys in the box. 8 guys can play the run. There are receivers at the top of your screen, 1 that you can't see. Alabama is locked up there, and you can see the high safety. So again, Bama trusting their corners to do their job, playing aggressive against the run. Kentucky is going to try a little screen here. First reads here. They don't like it. Now he's got his outlet here. Bama playing aggressively on every single one of these releases. They get good pressure, and there's nothing there. Again, all of this starts with Alabama's willingness to play aggressive close to the line of scrimmage football. It's now 3rd down and 10, a down and distance that's unlikely for Kentucky to convert. Kentucky, again, going with 3 receivers. They like this set a lot in passing downs and 1 running back here in the backfield, keeping the threat of run alive with 2 guys that can run. This is what their offense is really based on. And then, of course, you've got a tight end in here. So, again, 11 personnel, 1 tight end, 1 running back, 3 receivers, but 11 personnel is how many running backs and tight ends they have. Popular package, not only with Kentucky, but with Florida and pretty much everyone else in college and the NFL. We are then going to move our running back out here. So now we have a 4 receiver set. We're empty. There's no running back. And we have a tight end here. Now, this is going to be creative by Kentucky. You can see Alabama is starting to backpedal here. They're going to play cover 3. There's your safety. He's going to play down low. But you're going to play cover 3. So cover 3 is a place you want to attack either on the outside low, or, of course, you can attack underneath the coverage in general. Or you can do what Kentucky does here with a very deceptive play. Focus on this part of your screen. This is the tight end. Take a look at what they do here. Again, they want to make things easy for Terry Wilson. They don't really love the idea of having to throw the ball into a 7-man pass defense of Alabama. So let's go ahead and send all of our routes deep into this cover 3. Let's run everyone off, and then let's make it look like we want to hit this short dig or drag route because that's what Terry Wilson would like. And then let's slip him. Let's slip our tight end out at the very last second. And there it is. Really, really nice play design here by Kentucky to pick up this first down. They pick up a lot of yards. This is just the right call against the defense that Alabama has on. And it's a very, very good call. Again, very deceptive, very creative. Look how long this takes to develop. Very, very long time. Again, by then, Alabama's already moved all throughout their zones. They've lost track of the tight end. He has never moved to run a route. So the nice delayed release by the tight end buys Kentucky a first down. It's now 3rd and 8 for Kentucky. Notice that it is late in the second quarter and it's 14-3. So this is, in fact, a close game. Kentucky is driving. They are on Alabama's 25-yard line. Kentucky's going to come out with twins up top, 2 receivers up top. Bama's going to put 2 defenders there. Free safety is going to be here. Strong safety is going to come off your screen to come play here in the box, reading run first. And we're man-to-man over there. Although you can't tell, our nickel at the top of the screen is going to play outside leverage, outside technique here. His job is to deny any outbreaking route because he knows he has safety help to the middle. Safety up to the middle. He also is going to have linebackers dropping into the middle. Help us to the middle, therefore don't get beat to the outside. He is guarding Josh Ali. Josh Ali, again, is their favorite target. Alabama still staying sound on the run, making sure they have enough defenders in the box in case Kentucky wants to get cute. We mentioned on the podcast that Terry Wilson does not like to throw left. Notice how clean this pocket is for him. Does not like to throw left. He is taking a shot with Josh Ali. You couldn't see it over here, but Bama's defender, of course, was given a move by Ali. He maintained this outside leverage, outside shade. And then when Ali turned up, of course, he was in excellent position to be right with him, as you can see here. Not a lot of space here for this ball to be fit in. And again, this ball's nowhere close. Nowhere close. Safety also making a good read, taking away even a good throw here. Right? That's good defense by Alabama. But most importantly, again, Kentucky is going to do what they do. They want to run the ball. They want to target Josh Ali. Nice work by Bama, doing what their scheme and defense was designed to do here and getting a stop on 3rd down. 3rd and 4 for Kentucky. You're going to get a combo coverage here on the top of your screen where they're going to play zone with the defender over top. Let's not worry about that for now. Down here, you're going to get straight man, and we want to take a look right here. This is how you defend a slant. Unfortunately for us, we're going to lose a little bit of this to the scoreboard. But right here, you're going to see, and although you lose it, right now, what you can't see is there's a crossbody jam. Crossbody jam going on. We have the left arm of the Bama defender contacting the right shoulder. This allows him to maintain top control of the route. Any slant route he's going to run with, he will be on top of this route, resetting the momentum. You can see that Terry Wilson here is just looking this way. Again, this is not what you want to do as a quarterback because on this side of the field, there's a free safety you can't see, and this defender is your hole defender. So he's reading the quarterback, and he's going to help on any in-breaking route from one or the other. He sees Terry Wilson's locked on, He trusts Terry Wilson's going there. He's going to climb into this window here to help out on either one of these in breaking routes. Terry Wilson really, though, just staring right here. This is obviously not a pass you're really going to make for anything significant. Ball's nowhere near where it needs to be on 3rd down and 4. Again, good defense by Alabama. Take a look what we have here and here with a hole defender here. Not a lot of space, nowhere to go. Now you can look up at this part of your screen and say, well, look, he's open. This is true. And this is why it's so important for quarterbacks to use their eyes to move these zone defenders. If Terry Wilson had used his eyes to move him, he would have been able to read this and say, okay, I'm 2-on-2 on this side, snap the ball, let's see what my look is, move the defender, okay, I don't like this, I'm 3-on-2, let's see what I've got up here, and he would have perfect time right now to see he's good to go. He has this throw, right? And again, that's high-level quarterbacking. That's not the kind of game Terry Wilson plays. Bama knows that. That's why this defense is a good defense for Terry Wilson. They have help up top here on the harder side to defend because you have line of scrimmage, you have action back here, and then you have one receiver, and they're going to play man-to-man down here with a whole defender, intercepting anything that comes down low, trusting their defenders to be able to run deep to the outside with anything going down the field. Football is a game of adjustments. This is the first play coming out of halftime. Alabama now has a healthy lead. Again, they were up 14-3 with just 5 minutes and 50 seconds left with Kentucky driving. It is now 28-3, a totally different game. However, Kentucky does get the ball and make some adjustments. They're going to go 4 wide up top. It's the first time that we've seen that, leaving the weak side with 2 defenders on 2. This is your middle linebacker. And now in the backfield, although you can't see it, you have a free safety directly behind him. So what Alabama has done here is effectively put 5 defenders on this side, this defender being your conflict defender who can play pass or run. But because they have 5 defenders on this side, they have 2 on the weak side. You've seen this before in Florida games. This is a good time to run a weak side run, especially if you can get this linebacker to take a step the wrong way. You could be in for a big play. Kentucky's going to snap the ball. Nothing fancy here. Again, they're not pulling anyone. They're doing nothing fancy. But you can see the center is going to push this way first, which is going to allow him to create leverage on this side of the linebacker. That's why he's going to do that. Double, then push. Here he comes. Make sure I get a little bit of leverage here, get a block. We're 2-on-2 here. They win that one. Linebacker's out of the play. And now all we have left is the safety, who was in the middle of the field. So a nice play design by Kentucky. They hadn't shown this yet. They wanted to see how Bama was going to counter. Again, if you ask me, this linebacker needs to line up right here. Reason being, if the ball goes this way, this defender can help him. This defender can help him. He has no help on this side. He needs to adjust his split just a yard or two, and that can often be the difference between getting a stop in football or giving up a big play. 1st and 10 for Kentucky on the very next play. One of the primary benefits of playing press coverage on the outsides, playing man-to-man, man wherever you go, against a team that uses play action and runs the ball as well as Kentucky does, is you basically eliminate 2 receivers for the safety to really worry about. The safety can play much more aggressively on any of these middle routes if he trusts his 2 corners and the matchups that they have, and that is going to pay dividends when you play a team like Kentucky. There's some pre-snap motion, there's a fake handoff, so we're play actioning. We're going to try to take a shot. Both of these guys are going to wind up running deep. You can see Bama's going to use nice technique here, force him to the outside. Same thing's going to happen at the top of your screen that you can't see. Those 2 guys on the edge are locked up. You're going to see this slot receiver come across. The free safety who was here is going to come down on this route as well. So they're going to bracket this middle breaking route. That's going to leave Kentucky with absolutely nowhere to go. Then you're going to see a really nice exchange here. This linebacker reads run first, recognizes this not, peels back over the top. Here's your defensive end holding the edge. He's going to contact this receiver as he's running out, push him out here, slow him down, then break down on the quarterback. There it is. You see this really nice exchange happening, excellent timing, nowhere to go with this football, and there's your free safety along with your conflict defender from the beginning covering the tight end. Again, that's perfect pass-off defense, excellent fundamentals. Kentucky, of course, will display play action with Florida, and when they do so, they will try to hit Florida with big plays. Alabama was prepared on this play. We'll see on Saturday if Florida is. The game theory of football is one of the reasons why I love it so much. So Kentucky says, hey, this worked pretty well a few plays ago. We have 4 receivers here again. This time Alabama says, no, we had enough of that. We see that's a problem. We still don't think you can throw. We're going to leave just 4 defenders here and then bring our linebackers in here now, and now we're sound. Now we're sound. There's no gap they can run to pre-snap that looks good for them. Everything here is good. So again, half of football is just getting your players lined up correctly to defend the formation they're going against. That's what's going to happen here. Kentucky is going to attempt a little zone read action. Here's your zone read. He needs to read. Is this ball going to the quarterback or the running back? I should be on the quarterback. That's my assignment. I'm not going to crash down on the running back right away. Wait for the mesh point. There it is. Oh, but Bama, you're being tricky on this play. Now, we've said before on breakdowns that you don't always have to have your unblocked defender read here. In fact, some teams are trying to run plays to counter this. So now we're a couple of levels down in game theory where Alabama says, if I know that you know that this defender is supposed to be reading the quarterback and staying here on the edge, I'm going to occasionally not do that to blow up any play that you might have. And instead, I'm going to have my linebacker be the actual edge defender. And this is all part of the plan, so to speak. And you can see right away, this is in fact the plan. He's coming in here. He's always going this way. He's not going to fill this gap. He's going to count on his defensive end to make the run stop interiorly. That's what happens. You see the exchange, and that works rather perfectly. So again, some defensive creativity on the line. Excellent preparation, nice play, but look for Kentucky, as we mentioned, to continue to explore and probe different looks throughout the game. 3rd and 7. Kentucky's going to come out 5 wide. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, which you can't see. This is our boy here, Josh Ali, number 6. That's the guy to look for on Saturday. He's going to get a ton of targets. It's 3rd and 7. Let's see how Alabama chooses to handle this. Not surprisingly, we're pressed. We're pressed. Up top, we're off man. You can't see that, and that makes sense. This is a very long throw. No need to press on the very top of your screen. You can pay off. And then here, you have your safety. And now you're going to have your strong safety. So let's take a look at this. Sorry, this is actually your free safety here. And this is their strong safety. So you flip this. So what does this tell you? This tells you if you're going to put your better safety, your better pass covering safety down in the box here, this would tell you something. And primarily it would tell you that we're probably blitzing, right? Why? Because otherwise you wouldn't put your best pass defender down here in the box. That's unusual. Typically your strong safety would play there. Not always, but most of the time. So what you're doing here is you are sort of signaling, hey, this is likely going to be a blitz. And we trust, and this is what's great about Alabama, right, is they trust their free safety to play man-to-man here on Josh Ali, the best receiver that Kentucky has. And this is how you play off-man technique. First of all, notice his depth, about 7 yards. That's optimal. Second of all, notice what he does. He's not backpedaling. Look, receiver's coming at him. He's broken down. He's low. He's waiting. He's not looking at the quarterback. He's looking at the receiver. He's waiting to see if the route gets run early, and there it is. As soon as he declares his route, he's coming downfield. He's looking at the receiver. He's looking at the quarterback. And this is how you do it. Again, off man is perfectly fine to do when you do it correct. Take a look at the technique. Just look at his technique. He's waiting, he's waiting, he's waiting. Bingo. As soon as that route's declared, I'm coming down on this. You are not going to get a first down. That's a dangerous throw. That is how you play cover one-man defense, using a nice blitz off the perimeter to increase the pressure that Terry Wilson's feeling. Nice job by Alabama. Again, Kentucky, they'll go 5 wide, 4 wide, 3 wide. They'll run a variety of formations. They will attempt to pass. Primarily, they are looking for Josh Ali. Florida, again, would do very well to pay a lot of attention to him and put the defenders they feel most confident on him in the game on Saturday. Still 28-3. The game, of course, at this point in time is definitely, most certainly, almost over. After this play, it's going to be over. Unfortunately, we don't have a great camera angle to look at this, and this is, again, very unfortunate. This is an absolutely excellent play by Alabama. We've showed you all of these plays to lead up to this moment. Alabama here has their free safety and their strong safety off the screen, which you can't see. And then on this side of the screen, all you can see is their nickel, who is playing outside leverage. So he's outside. He's outside of Josh Ali, who, of course, is there. And then Bama has another defender you cannot see off the screen, which is about 7 yards off the ball. And we're pressed on the ball here. So that would tell us that we have a cover 2 on this side and a cover 4 potentially on this side, giving us cover 6. Now, there's different ways to play this. This is going to be a cover 6 robber. All right, we're going to bring our strong safety down into the hole, and we are going to bait a slant route here. We know that Kentucky likes to throw slant routes. We know they like to throw the ball to Ali. So we're going to maintain our outside shade here with our nickel to make sure he covers any route that goes into the flat. That's his responsibility. Any route that goes into the flat or goes out, he's going to take. The corner over here behind him is going to wind up bailing to play safety. And then we're going to have a lot of good stuff happen from Bama. This outside linebacker is going to drop into the slant window here to take away the slant up top. And ultimately, we're going to wind up getting a pick six because of our play design. So again, defenses don't just have to respond, they can counter. So right now, Terry Wilson looks, he sees outside leverage from Alabama's defender and thinks, absolutely, I've got this window. I know they're in zone. I'm feeling good about it. Unfortunately for Terry, he is no longer looking at the strong safety who is coming down to take this pass right from him. Here it is. He likes it. Look, this looks great. Actually, right now, this looks pretty good, doesn't it? Nice big window, nice big hole. He's thinking this is a good completion. I'm going to move the chains. Uh-oh. No. No, let's look again. No, this is how you get your cookies taken right here. Boom. Gone. Cookies gone. Touchdown. Game over. And again, this play is designed by Alabama. They are baiting this play. This is bait. He's setting up on the outside. He's baiting the slant. The strong safety is reading the slant and coming into that hole. They're hoping he's going to throw this. Throughout the game, we've watched this happen. And now when it's 28-3, the defense is going to make a play to end the game. Up top, again, we see our outside linebacker take a look here and cover this slant, just in case they want that one. We are taking away the slants. Throw something else. You're not going to get it. But oh, by the way, if you want to throw a slant, throw it right here so we can end the game. Whoop! Whoop! And you better believe Josh Ali was quite surprised at this point in time. Where did that guy come from, right? I thought I was open. Gone. Touchdown. Game over. Alabama puts him away. And again, this is just absolutely great defense and the result of an entire game of plays being run up into this point. It's the game theory. It's the cat and mouse. I know what you want to run. I'm going to call a defense to try to steal the play from you. And then here he comes. There he is. Look, he's in a dead sprint. You can't see him. He's over here. He's already sprinting right now. He's committed. He's coming. And that takes a lot of practice, a lot of timing, a lot of conviction, a lot of trust to run plays at that level. It's one of the reasons why Nick Saban has coordinated the best defenses most of the time, year in and year out, is they can run things like this. They are essentially playing offense against your offense with their defense. Great play design, great scheme. So, what should Florida look for? They should look for Kentucky to throw the ball a significant amount of times to Josh Ali, and they should be ready to stop those plays, hopefully using a variety of coverages and robbers to confuse Terry Wilson and not allowing Kentucky to do what they want to do the most, which is run the ball and throw it right here. Alabama going to start the game on a nice note here, knowing how Kentucky likes to play defense on wide receiver motions. Take our wide receiver, we're going to motion him across the formation. That in turn is going to have Kentucky take their strong safety, bring him down into the box, move this linebacker here, push him here on the line of scrimmage, and then we're going to get a cover 3 defense. Kentucky likes to play cover 3. It's their base defense. And because of this cover 3, we're going to take advantage of it by essentially running a 2-on-1 play. We're going to run the cover 3 safety off, or the corner off on this play, to create space over here to run our route into, which is going to come right here from our tight end. He's going to run a route that looks like he's breaking towards the middle, and then he's going to turn out into the vacated part of the zone. We use play action to suck the linebackers up, just in case they're supposed to be dropping into these zones. Let's suck them up. There they go. They're completely out of this play. Give them some window dressing here. Maybe they're trying to hit this short, but in reality, all we really want to do is hit this simple throw right here, which again, this throw exists because we took our receiver and ran off Kentucky's cover 3 corner, and this is a hole in cover 3. We essentially high load them. We 2-on-1 for all practical purposes. That cornerback that was there, he can't be right. He can't cover both of them. Nice play design by Alabama to start the game off, and a nice piece of film work knowing that Kentucky on a wide receiver motion likes to go into that coverage, which was going to give them a cover 3 and give them an immediate big play. Florida should expect a competent run defense from Kentucky in the red zone. Alabama, of course, very good at running the ball on 1st and goal. Nothing fancy here. Bama just going to come right up the gut with a run. Kentucky with a stop. And on 2nd and goal, more of the same thing. Bama only with one wide receiver. Right up the gut and a stop. So 2 stops in the red zone. And on 3rd down, Bama being Bama, do you think they're going to pass or are they going to run? Now, this is where if I'm Kentucky, I'm putting more guys on the line of scrimmage. I don't like it when teams do this. The ball's on the 1-yard line. You have far too many guys off the ball. You're counting on just 4 down linemen and a 5th who's quite offset here to control the line of scrimmage. I think this puts you at quite a disadvantage. This tells you that Kentucky is respecting the pass. They're trying to play a little bit of both. Again, I'd much prefer to see an extra lineman down here and say, you know what, take the pass. Let's not let them run in. Running it in is typically their character, and here we go. And that's the problem we're going to have. Now we have 2 defenders. They're going to wind up doing nothing, and a wasted defender here. And Alabama's going to walk right into the end zone. 1, 2, and 3 players that effectively were doing nothing. Let's put one of them on the line, but regardless, Kentucky can stop Florida in short running situations, especially if they're going to line up and get the numbers right. They are capable of doing that. Kentucky, like a lot of average defenses, are average for a reason, and one of the reasons they're average is they blow coverages. So pre-snap, we look okay here. We're lined up in tight on the top of this 2 set, which I like. We got one behind, which I like as well. And then I don't love our action down in here. Again, you can see Bama's got a good amount of players here. There's nobody on this side of the field, so we've got 9. And Kentucky here has 6, plus a conflict defender, a safety, and another safety. Too many guys off the line of scrimmage. In comes the running back here. This is going to change the assignment. Is he taking the running back? Is he taking the running back? What's happening here on this play? We're going to go with the handoff. Okay, he thinks I'm going to stop him on the run. Okay, it's not a run. I'm going to fall back into my zone. And we have a lot of issues. In fact, this is one of those plays where it's impossible for me to tell, even using the All-22, what coverage Kentucky is in, because it's essentially a nonsensical coverage given how they react, which means somebody messed up. We don't know who. Everyone's going to fall into a zone, and no one is accounting for the running back here or the flat. In fact, they're all way off the ball, way off the ball. They don't want to get beat deep. They know Bama likes to throw it deep, and they're going to wind up getting a very easy 25 yards. Again, average defenses will struggle just to get the calls right. They'll struggle just to play the correct coverages, and they will give you free yards. Florida should be able to create mismatches with Kentucky's handoff and exchanges and who's covering who, just with some very basic pre-snap motions like we tend to use, and our formations, giving us favorable looks against a team that does like to play rather safe on the back end. They prefer to play zone. They prefer to play cover 3 and cover 4. They prefer to drop back more than they do to play uptight and in your face, and that should present plenty of opportunities for Florida, especially because Kentucky's defensive line tends not to generate a lot of pressure. 3rd down and 10 for Alabama. They come out in a 2-by-2 set, so they're symmetrical with 4 receivers and 1 running back. Kentucky typically likes to play off the ball. They like to play cover 3, where they'll drop a safety down, right? They'll put one off. They'll bail these guys. They can play cover 4, where all of these guys are bail. They like to play safer back-end coverages. Alabama knows this. One of the best ways to combat that is to go ahead and send a dragger across the field. It's a nice safe throw. Get your vertical routes going. Move the defense back. Take your dropper. Move him back. Kentucky knows this. Kentucky knows they like to do this. So what do? They go ahead and counter that by having their defensive end, if he's not getting immediate pressure, fall back into this window. What you see him do right here, makes a really nice play, almost gets himself an interception. So nice work by Kentucky scouting Alabama and executing early on in this game. Could have been an interception. Again, this is Bama's 2nd possession. Could have been a pick, but not. But either way, nice work understanding what Bama likes to do. You can expect Kentucky, again, to be creative on the defensive front. Florida does not throw a lot of drag routes like that. Probably not going to be a lot of opportunities for that exact play, but count on Kentucky to attempt to use Florida's tendencies and try to create some opportunities for turnovers based upon their defensive play design. One thing that was for sure true when evaluating the film in Alabama versus Kentucky is Alabama does not run near the quality route combinations that Florida does, especially against static zones. Florida's combinations are much, much better. Despite Alabama scoring a lot of points in this game, they did generally struggle to move the ball in the passing game, at least consistently. One of the reasons why was just simply their route combinations. Again, we've said at length that Kentucky likes to play cover 3. They prefer it. They strongly like to do it. They like to play way off. Bama, although you can't see it, is going to wind up sending both of their receivers on go routes. There are 3 safeties that are going to wind up being back here versus 2, not the matchup that you want. And then on top of that, they're going to flare out their receivers here and here out of the backfield. So they're going to give themselves some safe options. Again, very safe play. You have 2 verticals and 2 flat routes. This does play right into the hands of a team like Kentucky. They prefer to see this. Here's their zone defender underneath waiting. They have a similar defender on that side. Mack Jones checks deep, has absolutely nothing there, comes downhill, makes a tackle. Again, that's too easy. Again, not relevant for Florida. I chose this play to point out how successful Florida is at not often running plays that are completely gobbled up by the defense like this one was here, where all your quarterback can do is just take a 2 or 3 yard gain because really nothing else is there. That's been a huge, huge point of emphasis for Florida this year. It has been one of the reasons why they are historically good on offense, and it's great to see it on film week in and week out. And again, Alabama, although very good on offense this year, does not display the same level of route concepts and combinations that Florida does. This, however, the very next play is a very nice play designed by Alabama. It's very simple but very good. Kentucky is already way off. They're already way off the 2 receivers here for Alabama. There's another receiver at the top of your screen that you can just barely see here. And there's a safety off your screen over here. Strong safety moving down to this side of the field, and we're going to get a motion from Alabama, which is going to move him down there anyway, so that actually all works out. Kentucky is going to blitz. They're going to blitz. Here comes our blitz. It's going to be an A-gap blitz or a B-gap blitz. And then we're going to have this play. And this is where you want to focus your attention here. I'll rewind it just for a second. We get our tight end who's going to just stop for a second. He's blocking. He's just going to stop. He's going to stop, and now he's going to get in a foot race here with the defender assigned to him. And because he stops, he's going to put the gas on, blow right by. Well-timed throw. Nice little zone beater. Now, again, you won't see Florida running a lot of these same concepts. Of course, they can. We could run this with Pitts or Gamble or anyone else, primarily because Florida is 2-on-1ing vertically down the field, which we've highlighted on the podcast as being one of the absolute best things Florida's done this season. I think it's much more dynamic. This is a much more simple approach where Mack Jones really is not reading the field. Again, take a look. All he's really doing is reading this throw here. This is the throw he wants. He knows he's going to get his receiver to run off that corner. He knows that this zone defender, the way Kentucky plays, is not going to be a factor. His job is just to see if he can win that foot race. He does. Nice, easy, simple throw. There are different ways to attack a defense, and Alabama takes advantage of the fact that Kentucky is going to want to play deep on that back end. Again, a point of emphasis for Florida. They do run a 3-4. We've seen this before. Knowing that Vanderbilt and Arkansas wanted to drop so many guys back, Kentucky may take their chances with that as well. But Florida should have plenty of opportunities if they hold up at the point of attack to significantly move the ball against Kentucky. Mack Jones is absolutely not Kyle Trask. In fact, on film, he's not even in the same hemisphere at reading the field as Kyle Trask, but he is an accurate quarterback. However, he can be had. Kentucky is actually going to blow a coverage entirely on this defense, and it's almost going to work to their benefit. They're also going to get a roughing the passer penalty, so it's going to erase that and not really matter. But here is what happens. We have a corner here off the ball. That's this circle, and then we have Bama's receiver, who you can see there. We got a receiver up top and a receiver in the slot. The route combination that Alabama is going to run is going to be quite simple and also decently effective. Although, again, I would argue it didn't make a lot of sense. You could have run a lot better route combinations, but it's going to work because essentially this coverage is blown. This corner here is going to wind up passing off what winds up being an inside released go route that then comes back around to the outside. There's going to be a single high safety, and we're going to lock up right here. So in theory, you would think this could be a cover 3, it could be a cover 1, you could have a combination coverage, but this corner here passing off the receiver is just simply a bust. As soon as the ball snapped, The safety, who you can't see on your screen, is going to move back this way, indicating there is absolutely no help over his head. There is no way he's passing this off to anyone. But fortuitous for him, the other route that Alabama is going to run is going to be a deep out route. So you're going to get an out route here. You're going to get a corner route or a go that's going to look out the outside shoulder over there. That route combination could be fine. And in fact, against a cover 3, you're going to wind up 2-on-1ing that safety. And this is the real point, is although this route combination, I think there's better ways to run a high-low, is still sound, right? A deep out and a corner route against a cover 3 is great because you 2-on-1 that safety and he can't be right. The way Bama runs it with their spacing and timing, I think, is just a little off here, but that's not even the point. The point is what Mack Jones does here. He should be looking pre-snap at this dropping corner. That's his read. His read is the dropping corner. If the corner bails and he takes this corner route, then he has got to be throwing the out route. If the corner stays and passes him off, then he knows he has a touchdown on the corner route. It's a very easy 2v1. It's a great concept. It's really simple. As long as protection holds up, he's going to have this. And in fact, he gets everything he wants. Now you can see here, this is a nice little action. He's going to look to the inside, then snap to the outside, then run it out, which you're not going to see him do. But bottom line is I don't know what he thinks he's looking at here. Again, take a look at Mack's head. He should be reading that corner. That's what you see him do. He should be reading this corner here. This corner is looking at him. And if that corner is looking at him, you know what he's not looking at? He's not looking at the end zone behind him, and it also means that he's definitely standing flat-footed, which means you know you have that throw right over his head for a touchdown. Now he's going to opt out on doing that, and instead he's going to try to throw this route, which is the precise wrong route because this guy was the corner. He just passed off the route behind him. He's looking at the quarterback. He sees Mack Jones looking there at the out route. He is sitting on the out route. That's what he's doing. Now, again, is he playing the right coverage? Almost certainly not. Is it possible that they're gambling on things they've seen on film from Alabama? Highly unlikely because Bama called the right concept for a touchdown. They should have been punished by this. Mack Jones makes a wrong read here. Again, you almost never see Kyle Trask do something like this. This is no knock on Mack Jones. He's a solid quarterback, very accurate guy. But Kentucky blows the coverage here. Should be the recipient of a pick. He's going to drop this pass right in his hands, which is frustrating. And again, they're also going to get a roughing the passer. It's going to negate this. But all in all, the reason I show you this is, again, good 2-on-1. Good 2-on-1 by Alabama. Kind of an obscure route pattern. However, it still works. They have the 2-on-1. They have a chance for a touchdown. It's a nice illustration of how that concept works. And sometimes, although Kentucky's not doing this, you could call this an exploitative strategy where you do something a little crazy or a little unorthodox, try to get a pick. Again, they didn't do it on purpose, but the principle itself from game theory still works here because you did something so unexpected, even if it was wrong, that it almost led to a pick. 1st and 10 for Bama. We know Kentucky likes to run cover 3. This is yet another curious call. There's 3 here. This looks like they're going to wind up playing 3 deep. This call by Alabama makes no real sense. Again, we're going to send 2 vertical routes into 3. Okay, you're not going to win there. And we're going to send another flare route out here, but we have an underneath the flat defender there. That's his job. That's where he's going to be. Okay, so what's Bama doing? I see. They're trying to sneak out the running back out the backside. This is a nice job by Kentucky. Take a look at what they've done here. This, again, is your conflict defender, as we'll call him. He's your outside linebacker. He's got a decision to make. Is it run? Is it pass? They're trying to get him to not do his job. He sees this is not a handoff. It could be easy for him to just get lazy, suck himself into the formation. He does not. He stays on his job. He knows this is his man no matter what. I'm taking the first guy that comes out in the flat. He's there on that play. Very, very nice play. Now the play is basically dead, and they got to wind up taking this little dump down here, which they get a couple of yards on. That's a win by Kentucky. So again, Kentucky likes to play a lot of cover 3. Florida shreds cover 3. The interesting question here will be, what will Kentucky do differently? Because if they line up like this against Florida, this will not be successful for them. Now 2nd and 6 for Alabama. Kentucky's going to play absolutely excellent defense here and get quite unlucky. We have 3 receivers at the top of your screen, and then we have a running back and a tight end down here at the bottom, or a receiver at the bottom. What we're going to wind up running are a bunch of nice route combinations where Kentucky zones very well. Now, you can't see them on your back end, but they're all picked up really nicely. There's nowhere to go with the football. Good zone by Kentucky. Kentucky is very capable of playing really good zone defense. They are capable of doing this. Unfortunately for them, they are going to get very, very unlucky. This touchdown by Mack Jones is not going to the guy that he threw it to. Now, you cannot see this on the All-22, which is really unfortunate. But again, let's look at the coverage here for a second. Covered, double covered, covered, completely covered. That's great coverage, right? There's all 5 of your receivers. There's nowhere to go with this football. Mack Jones is going to take a shot. Mack Jones is throwing the ball here. This receiver was here, and he turned around to snap back to go here. I can assure you that's where he's throwing it. But boy, does he get lucky when he overthrows this ball, and it happens to go into his hands for a touchdown. Again, this is super clear on the All-22 from the end zone camera. What actually happens, this is where TV can fool you. He is not at all looking at the back guy. He is 100% looking at the short guy. He throws a fadeaway, sidearm kind of bullet, and he misses this throw. Throws it high, sails it over, and lucky him, there's another receiver. There's several ways you can tell that he misses the throw. One is by the end zone camera showing you who he's looking at, but 2 is by his own reaction. He's basically shocked this play is a touchdown and doesn't really react for the first 4 or 5 seconds because that was clearly not where he threw it. Again, I use this play not to illustrate the fact that Bama gets a nice lucky touchdown here, but that Kentucky is capable of playing really good zone defense. And in fact, he had a lot of time to throw this ball, but they did cover up those routes well. Now, all year long, if Kyle Trask has gotten time, he has shredded any zone defense. So we're going to end our defensive film study here with this. There's nothing that Kentucky does on defense that's going to scare Florida's offensive coaches in the film room. They should be able to do whatever they want, much like the game against Vanderbilt. The answer for Florida is going to come entirely from right here. If Florida's offensive line is successful in giving Florida time, of course, we at the podcast really hope that we see a different offensive line, one that does not involve Delance. We think it's a great opportunity to reshuffle this line and get a higher ceiling offensive line in there. But if we can hold up at the point of attack against Kentucky, again, there's really nothing they should be able to do to provide any kind of unique or novel challenge to Florida. If, however, they are getting pressure with their front 4 or worse yet, their front 3, then Florida will have a tough time moving the ball against their back end zone. Kentucky's back end zone is better than Vanderbilt's, and those windows against Vanderbilt oftentimes were quite small. So that's going to be the matchup of the game. It should be interesting, to say the least, to see how Kentucky does up front here. Again, this is where the game will be won or lost. And hopefully you enjoyed this contrast of Alabama and Florida. 2 different teams, despite one having a high-powered offense, one having a low-powered defense in Florida, and the other one having an extremely high-powered defense that struggled at times in Alabama this season, with a high-powered offense that's much more simple and vanilla. Again, I think the film shows the story of what both these teams, Kentucky and Alabama, were like. Of course, this is not the last we will see of Alabama, but hopefully you enjoyed this style of film study. It was progression-based to kind of give you an idea of what play callers are doing throughout the game. And we'll leave it right here so this is not too long so that you can enjoy all of these plays to get you ready for Florida's matchup with Kentucky. If it's already been Thanksgiving for you, we certainly hope you enjoyed it. If it's not, enjoy it, and I'll see you next week on another film breakdown.